Okay, so today we're going to do 10 minutes on comping properties. I get a lot of questions and people are scared before they get into this business. How am I going to know what the value is? So I'm going to show you what I do on multiple listing service to come up with the value. I'll give you some tips and I'm going to share my screen with you. It's why today looks a little different. So um, let's get right into it. I'm going to comp out a property that we actually just bought, and I'm going to show you sort of what we're thinking and how we're thinking. So let me just switch the screen. Okay, so I'm in the little corner here. So this is our multiple listing service. It is probably the worst multiple listing service in the country. They're about to merge with another MLS, Hudson Valley, and I think I can only imagine that will improve. But the MLS in LIBOR right now is disaster, and I wouldn't know that unless I've seen a multiple listing services in other areas, and I've seen them in Florida and Chicago, and their searching capabilities far exceed ours. I mean, it's so much better. So hopefully we're going to improve, but for now we're stuck with what we got. So we bought a property in Hempstead at 33 Maple Avenue. We're in contract to sell it. So I'm going to show you what I would do what I did before the property, figure out price and what to do with it. So this is the standard info center search screen. But I can't go from there. So I go to listings and I go to listing search, and this is going to give me that area. So I go availability, available and unavailable, right? Unavailable is really what you want. You want properties that are already sold, already in contract. And then I go to map search, continue. And what this is going to give me is an area to search geographically. So I go to locations. So any property I'm comping, this is what I do. I put in the address, and then I do a find. And it gives me a map of the area. Okay, so I got to zoom in a little. And I don't cross busy streets. So the truth is, in plenty of Hempstead you can, but in a lot of places you got to be very careful when you cross a busy street. So this gives me almost like a triangle pattern here. So I'm going to draw a map, basically going over this area, which is not such a big area. It's probably a total of like equivalent of like a quarter of a mile or a third of a mile radius. And I am going to only search this area. And it's going to give me every property that's sold or is for sale in that area. Let me get rid of this. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort the results by title date, which means when they sold. So it's not going to give me anything for sale on top, but it's going to give me everything that recently sold. So you have to click sort, and now it gives you the earliest, and then you click sort again, and it gives you the most recent. So then I'm going to go through this. Now I'm really looking for three things, right? I'm looking for properties that have been renovated by another investor and what they sold for, so I can figure out ARV. I'm looking for properties that were old and cruddy that sold and what price they sold for, so I can wholesale a property. In the end, we wholesale this property. We did a little bit of work to it, and we're selling it to a retail buyer. And then I'm looking for what other investors are paying. So I'm going to go to the most recent, right? This is 50. Sometimes you could see multiple ones, but I'm just looking to do a quick look. Okay. So the most recent one sold for $395, right? It was listed for $399. So let's see it. So it's completely renovated, right? And it's under contract. It already sold. I'm going to go through it. Looks like they did a good job. Everything's done. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath on a 40 by 120. Very typical for the area, narrow and deep. And it sold for $395. So what this tells me is a couple things. It tells me the ARV on a 4.2, it calls it a split, which is weird. But a 4.2 in that area is probably worth around $400. But let's look at public record and see what these guys paid. So who bought it? MC Home Properties. So let's look at public record, and then we'll see what they paid for it. So they paid $264, and it was Fannie Mae Home Path Home. And they took a $237 mortgage with Bayport, which is a big hard money lender out here. So $264 is what they paid. So this tells me a few things, and those numbers seem to make sense. I don't know I don't know the condition of it. They may have, I don't know what they put into it, but excuse me, investor will pay in the mid twos and sell, and the ARV should be about $395. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this actually is relatively similar to the house we bought, but it's a 3.1. Ours is a 4.2, and let's see the condition inside. Looks pretty good, but you see the kitchen's old, right? So this is new appliances, but old cabinetry. It's fair. So this tells me sort of maybe what a wholesale deal might go for if it's in decent shape. It was asking $379. I told $377, 23 days. That's quick. So that's interesting. Okay, and only one bathroom. Interesting. Next. So this is this is a 4-family. I'm not even going to use this. This is a short sale, right? So a short sale, 4.1.5 short sale, and sold for 280. Do I see condition? This is almost always an investor for a short sale, and it's in fair condition. Okay. This is a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom Cape. It's a regular sale. It was listed for $299. It went into days on market 19 days. So I think they priced this a little too low. They listed for $299, went into contract for $287, and then they got some kind of concession on it. It probably could have got more, it looks like, on a retail sale, but there's no interior picture, so it might be really bad inside. Okay. What's this? Beautiful, completely renovated stucco house, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's pretty good. Seller very motivated. It's interesting. Okay, so this is definitely a flip. Definitely bought by an investor. Amir Bajawi. Don't know who that is. But let me see what he paid for it. Interesting. Maybe it wasn't a flip. Maybe it was the guy who just owned it. I don't know what's going on here. Sometimes the public record doesn't tell you. I don't know what happened here, but it looks like a really nice 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, sold for the lower 4s. So the the picture I'm getting here is that investors are paying in the low to mid 2s. Fabulous Cape. 1 second. So this is not a fabulous Cape. This is a fair house, right? So this might be what a hotel property will go. So like a mid 3s. They were asking 300, went 30,000 above asking in 23 days. That's an interesting fact, right? This guy priced it too low, and someone bid it up quickly. 400,000, totally renovated. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see what they paid. They paid 218. Okay. So here's the picture I'm getting. I'm getting that an ARV on a 4.2, which is what the property we are, is close to 400. The wholesale is in the mid 3s. And if you want the wholesale property here, you better get it in the low 2s to sell it to another investor for mid 2s. That is what I'm seeing. New renovated 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom. 95 VA Avenue. So this is definitely a flip. All redone. Let's see what they paid. Wow, I bought it for $115,000. So I mean, it might have needed $150,000 worth of work. It's hard to tell, but those are the numbers we're looking at, right? So if I wanted to wholesale this property, I would have had to buy it lower. We bought it for around 240, and we're going to sell it in the upper 3s, and we only put a little bit of money into it. So it was good. We did well. I priced it too high in the beginning at $399. That was a mistake because it's not completely renovated. Look at this. Cash rehab only. Asking $249. Let's look at this. On the market for 500 days. This is an REO. They bought for $185,000. A 2-family. Interesting. Something must be really screwed up here. It's probably not illegal too. So this is what we look at. That's what I do. I'm just looking through it. If you're saying I can't find anything, we're very fortunate that we can find these things pretty quickly in most areas, especially Hempstead. This is a flip for sure, being sold at $386. They asked $379. It sold for $386 in 42 days. That's pretty good. Let's look at what he paid for it. I bet he paid in the 2s. $130. Wow. This guy bought it cheap. But again, I don't know the condition. This might have needed $200,000 worth of work, right? So from what I'm seeing, investors will pay in the mid 2s for these things and sell them in the around 4. Sometimes they can go even higher. What's going on here? 339 went for 305. Fully renovated ranch. So this guy did not do a great job, right? You can see the kitchen is cruddy. He didn't even bother putting a granite there. But he renovated it and he sold it 305. He probably bought it in the 100,000 mark. That's why he didn't need it higher. Could have sold it more. 339 went for 305. Well, let's see what he paid for it. Yeah, he paid 127 for it. So I mean, that's cheap. So he put it out at 300. Probably could have got more for it. Probably mid threes. Unless there's something I'm missing here. So that's what I'm looking for. So 385 is a ranch, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. That's nice. Renovated. Is it a, yeah, this is a flip too. 385. They asked 399. It went 42 days at 385. That's nice. Let's see what they paid. Paid 55,000. Wow. All right. I mean, this might have been like practically a knockdown. I don't know what it looked like before. But from, okay, so this is a good one. So this is obviously an investor. It's an REO, went for 200. It looks like a disaster. It's a Fannie Mae home path, which is always a pain in the ass. You always have to wait. I mean, Fannie Mae home path is difficult to deal with. 200. 429 for a high ranch, accepted offer, mint, definition of turnkey. Interesting. This is definitely a flip, clearly. Looks pretty nice. Let's see what they paid for it. 259. So again, investors are paying low twos, mid twos, and then depending on how big the property is, how good a job you do, you can sell it for, why isn't this getting out here? You can sell it for close to 4 or 429. This guy sold it for. So to me, this is pretty obvious. Houses in decent shape are going low to mid threes. Houses that are all done are going upper threes to low fours. Investors are paying somewhere between 150 and 250,000. And that's how this is. 50 door line, 265. 50 door line. Wasn't that the first property we saw? 50 door line. Oh, I see. 265 and he sold it for 395. So, I mean, that was the listing. It wasn't that long ago. So, I mean, let's look at that one and see what it looked like before to get an idea of how much he put on it. Here. So this guy paid $265 for it. Let's look inside. Don't look that. I mean, needs a kitchen. Flooring is okay. Needs a bathroom. Got a problem there. All right. I mean, he probably put in 50, 60 grand. But what are the Fannie Mae home paths? Sold it for $395. He probably made money on it. 29 Elm, 210. Cash rehab only. REO. Asking 265. It was on the market for 175 days. All right. MIM properties again. So, I mean, 210. Wait a second. Okay. I mean, yeah. Low two, depending on, that looks like it's in bad condition. 407 for a 6-bedroom, 3-bath with no interior pictures. They probably did a lot of work without permits. 365 for this one. All redone, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They asked 359. They went out too cheap, and they got 365 pretty quickly. Let's see what they paid. He probably could have listed it for 399. Looks like it's in good shape. And he paid $180,000 for it. All right. Again, you'll see a lot of times investors will base their asking price on what they paid based on a certain number they want to. All right. This guy paid really cheap and didn't want to be a pig, but he probably could have listed for $399 and sold it also. So I mean, this is how things go. But that's how we comp, right? I don't cross busy streets. I check. Also check. Very important to check school districts in Long Island. We're doing a house now where there's 3 school districts within a block of the place. So it's in Wantagh, some of Wantagh schools, some of Plainage schools, some of Island Tree schools. You got to be careful because there's a big difference on some of these. For example, even in Hempstead, if you have Unionville schools, you'll get more money. Usually, school district 1 is not as good, and this is how you comp. You look at an area and you look at what investors are paying. I mean, we picked a great area today because there's a million investor properties here. Sometimes there'll be less, but you've got to get an idea of what investors are paying, what people are paying for houses that aren't so great if you want to wholesale, and what the ARV is to figure out what they need. So I hope this was helpful. 14 minutes on comping properties. If anybody needs help with this, let me get this bigger one. Let me switch. If anybody needs help with figuring this out, I'm here to help anytime. I can go through it. We can help you figure out if a deal is a deal, what the ARV is, what you can wholesale it for, what you can flip it for. So feel free to ask us for help anytime.